The old folks called it the Whispering Forest. It wasn't a name given lightly. It was a name born from fear, whispered in hushed tones around crackling fires on cold nights. They said the forest never slept, not truly. When the sun dipped below the horizon and shadows stretched long and skeletal, the forest awakened. It whispered. The whispers were not the rustling of leaves or the chirping of crickets. They were voices, ancient and ethereal, carrying secrets best left buried. Stories of forgotten times, of lost souls and ancient evils. The wind carried these whispers to the edge of the forest, a chilling reminder to those who dared to listen. No one knew what lurked within the heart of the Whispering Forest. No one who dared to venture in after dark ever returned to tell the tale. The town of Stillwater nestled at the edge of the forest, a small, quiet town where life went on at its own pace. Life in Stillwater revolved around the changing seasons, the harvest and the whispers of the forest that loomed large in their lives. The forest was Stillwater's blessing and its curse. It provided sustenance, its bounty of timber fueling their economy. Yet it was a constant source of fear, a menacing presence that cast a long shadow over their lives. The elders of Stillwater carried the weight of the forest's secrets in their weary eyes. They warned their children away, instilling in them a fear of the unknown that ran deeper than any river. But the warnings only served to pique the curiosity of the young, and none more so than Sarah, a girl with a thirst for adventure that even the chilling tales couldn't quench. Sarah, with her bright, curious eyes and a spirit wilder than the wind, had always been drawn to the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the surface of her small town. The forest, with its ominous reputation, held a particular allure for her. The whispers, the stories, the very air of danger that clung to the ancient trees only fueled her desire to uncover its secrets. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Sarah made up her mind. She would venture into the Whispering Forest. Ignoring the warnings that echoed in her ears, she slipped out of her house, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. She carried with her a flashlight, her phone, and a backpack filled with snacks, a naive shield against the unknown that awaited her within the dark embrace of the woods. Section 4. The Forest Awakens. As Sarah stepped through the threshold of the forest, the sunlight seemed to vanish, swallowed whole by the dense canopy of leaves overhead. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the crunch of dry leaves beneath her feet. At first everything seemed normal. Trees, like silent sentinels, stood guard, their branches intertwined overhead, creating a sense of oppressive enclosure. Yet as the last rays of sunlight faded, a change swept over the forest. It was subtle at first, a whisper so faint that Sarah dismissed it as the wind playing tricks on her ears. But then the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to emanate from the very trees themselves, their voices a chorus of rustling leaves and creaking branches. Section 5. Flickering light, dying connection. Sarah's heart began to pound in her chest, a drum against her ribs. The whispers surrounded her now, closing in like a suffocating blanket. They spoke of things she couldn't understand, ancient tongues and forgotten languages, yet their tone was unmistakable. Fear, warning, despair. As if mirroring her growing unease, her flashlight flickered, the beam of light shrinking, casting grotesque shadows that danced around her. Panicked, she pulled out her phone, her lifeline to the familiar world she had left behind. But the signal was gone, swallowed by the dense foliage overhead. She was alone, trapped within a prison of whispering trees, the darkness pressing in, amplifying her fear. Section 6. The Guardian of the Forest. Then through the darkness, she saw it. A pair of eyes glowing with an eerie green light materialized from the shadows. They hung suspended in the darkness, watching her, their intensity unwavering. Terror, primal and instinctive, seized Sarah. As the figure moved closer, she made out the shape of a man, impossibly tall, his form shrouded in the darkness, his features indistinguishable. He moved with an unnatural grace, gliding over the forest floor as if he were one with the shadows. A low growl emanated from the figure, a sound that seemed to shake the very foundations of the forest. This was the guardian of the Whispering Forest. This was the source of the whispers, the keeper of secrets, and Sarah had trespassed on forbidden ground.